recently at a lunch and learn, as they call it, with I think about 15, 20 other recruitment business owners. And one of the things that was stated by one of the individuals who runs I think about 50, 60 headcount recruitment business was that as an organisation and as an individual recruiter, as a business scales, you have to accept that standards will slip and the quality of work will come down. Now, I'm trying to fight and protect against that, and this is what this conversation is all about. Right, so this is based on a recent session when I went down to London. One of the comments was from one of the business owners down there was, as a business scales, standards will slip. And that you just have to accept that the quality of the work that we do won't be as good as when we were small. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is protect against that by looking and thinking, making you guys think about what areas of the business are you not doing. So I'm going to talk to you guys about, post this, about our 15-step matching process. But what I want you to think of post this conversation is what areas of the recruitment process are you now not doing, or you have waylaid because you don't think there's value in it. I'll give you an example. The Salesforce contact search, or reaching out to people on the CRM from the 15 steps, are we utilising that effectively? I'm going to guess it's a no based on the fact I've just looked at some of the Salesforce activity of reaching out to people that have that are on the CRM, but they're not candidates, but could be candidates. Another one is, how well are you utilising the LinkedIn group situation? Because we do generate candidates from that, albeit you're unlikely to place the job on the back of it, but it does increase personal brand, and you will get some candidate flow on the back of utilising that if you're part of it. Are we posting about our jobs on LinkedIn, or are we just not doing that? I probably suggest we're not doing enough of that, because I don't see enough of it on LinkedIn, albeit it doesn't mean I see everything. And then I'd also look at your processes from a BD perspective. Are we logging our calls and using the left messages reminder? Are we, when we're completing our BD approaches, are we also completing outreach to, I've got a really good candidate here. Who have I spoken to in the past that I could share this profile with? Not on the basis you think that they may be interested in them and they may be hiring right now, because that might be a slim shout, but certainly as a thought of how do I keep in touch and keep contact and keep base with these individuals, and that kind of level of follow-up. So message here today is very clear. The standards you operate for, as standards we operate as a business, what tends to happen is people will sit one below that standard, or maybe even two or three below that standard. It's about making sure that you are completing the steps for every single process, for every single BD outreach, for every single sourcing type process, and making sure that we're ticking all those boxes. So are we going to Salesforce and thinking, who have I spoken to previously? When have I done this search in the past? Could I use an old price call list to utilise that, which are all sold against the job, etc., etc., etc. On the day that the candidate starts in their new business, we all want personal brand, we all want recognition. The best position that a recruiter can be in is when they've just placed a job. Well, when that candidate starts, are you shooting out a LinkedIn post that says, congratulations to Joe, to candidates recently placed, to Paul Brennan, it was a while ago, but getting that post out and saying, congratulations, really pleased you started your new position X, Y, and Z, because that then all their contacts see that you placed them. All of their contacts will probably potentially comment, like, or maybe make a note on that. Congratulations, John, Joe, Phil, Peter, and therefore you may generate candidate flow from it. It might be that that candidate you don't end up introducing into a business, but it could be that you end up finding that candidate and you interview that profile, you e-shop that profile, which gets you the next vacancy, which then gets you retained search or something else. So it's not just about, well, I might not place this candidate, I might not generate them. How do you utilise that individual to then place that person, or to then get a vacancy on, or to generate a lead, or etc., or have a conversation with a client that you haven't spoken with in a while. So what I want you to think about is, what are you doing right now, and how do you maximise the fact that you're doing all the steps and everything you need to be doing?